This is HSC Option 2. We're up to the third key idea here, which is this just here. How does the mass media contribute to people's understandings, values and beliefs about sport? And this recording is focusing on the right-hand side of the syllabus. There was 3 questions linked to this particular dot point over here. In previous recordings, I've already answered the first 2, and this is the final question for this dot point. How have sports been changed to suit the needs of the media? The example that the syllabus gives is through uniforms, rule changes and structures to accommodate advertising breaks. Now, in answering this question, you could quite easily talk about these 2 dash points, and in some of the examples I'm about to give you, you'll see how I've done that. So how have sports been changed to suit the needs of the media? The couple of examples I'm going to give you now is uniforms, and this is about the 4th time that I've used this example in various different questions that have come up. The beach volleyball is one of the ones, I guess particularly the males are going to remember, is that the beach volleyball for women actually made these change because they just realised it was one way they were going to get more media attention for their sport, and that is to put their players in skimpy bikinis. And as a result of that, that is now one of the more popular sports to watch at the Olympics in terms of the difficulty in obtaining a ticket for that sport. In recent years, cricket has also made some rather significant changes in the uniforms that they wear. That has happened as the change from Test cricket to the focus of 2020 cricket has come about. So on the right hand side of the PowerPoint here, you see the type of uniform that they will still wear in Test cricket. That's a predominantly all white type of uniform, where now in 2020 cricket, this is the style of uniform that the different teams in Australia are wearing. As you can see, they are brightly coloured. That's just to appeal to particularly the younger type audience. Now, even the actual Test uniform has changed in cricket as well to suit the needs of the media and to earn more money through sponsorship. Now, this is one of the more famous Australian cricket players from the 70s and 80s. His name was Dennis Lillee, and if you have a look at his shirt here, it contains no advertising sponsorship deals whatsoever on the shirt. Now, this is what happens today. You've got the Vodafone logo appearing a couple of times on the shirt, as well as the Cricket Australia symbol is here as well. So this sort of change has upset a lot of traditional type people who would just wish this would just be a plain white shirt. But in an attempt to gain some sponsorship out of Vodafone, Vodafone then realised that their product is going to be displayed through the media. Cricket Australia has been more than willing to put the logo on the once considered important Test shirt. And I can probably pretty much guarantee you if you fast forward 10 years time, there'll even be more logos appearing on that shirt. The New Zealand All Blacks and the Australian rugby team have done exactly the same thing as the cricket shirt as well. It wasn't that long ago these shirts were considered pretty sacred and you wouldn't put any sort of sponsorship deal on the actual shirt. But as you can see now, the All Blacks shirt is probably considered one of the most prestigious sporting jumpers in world sport. And just in the last few years, they've signed with this insurance company, AIG, and they now appear on the All Blacks shirt. Many sports have made some significant changes in their rules to make their game more appealing for the media. And the easy example to talk about here, I think, in all occasions is cricket. And that's been the quite dramatic change from Test cricket to 2020 cricket. And I've put some of the changes over here on a table just to help you get a clear understanding how these changes have happened. So Test cricket was once, or still is when it's played over 5 days, 7 hours per day. So that's total playing time of 35 hours, when on some occasions you still don't get a result, the game is drawn. When in 2020 cricket, the games go for 3 hours only and generally played at night time, and a result happens on every occasion. Test cricket games are played in the day only, but it's interesting to note in the media this week, it looks Test cricket set to experiment with day-night tests within the next few years in an attempt to gain more media exposure. 2020 cricket is games that pretty much predominantly always played at night because that's just at a better time spot for the media. Test cricket just through the media just has the focus on cricket. When you're talking about 2020 cricket, they like to spice up the media a little bit there by having such things as dancing girls, music between overs, etc. There is little media interaction with players during the game of Test cricket, while during 2020 cricket, players are mic'd up and interviewed continually during the game. And in fact, in some occasions, players are actually interviewed while the game itself is in progress. Some sports have actually put advertising breaks into their game to accommodate TV companies. As I said in one of the earlier recordings, if you pay $1 billion in TV rights deals, you expect to get a good deal out of that. And in the case of the AFL, when a goal is kicked, there is always now a 30-second break to accommodate, enough time to accommodate a TV commercial. Basketball over the recent years has also added more timeouts to their game to just give TV networks further opportunity to have more TV commercials. And in terms of critical thinking that you can think about, there's now being some pressure put on FIFA. They are the world organisers of soccer or football, depending what you want to call it, that to introduce quarter times into that game, just to give TV companies greater chance of having more opportunity to have TV commercials. There's also been changing of traditional game times. As an example, in the NRL, for example, in the last few years, Foxtel have been started to show games on Monday Night Football because they realise that's a real ratings winner for Foxtel. But that hasn't pleased the fans. And what I mean by the fans, who actually like attending the games. Monday night is not a great night for people to go out in the middle of winter to take your family along to watch a game of NRL. And the crowds at these games are actually been really disappointing, but the actual ratings of TV have been huge. So it's been a win for the actual media companies and a win for Foxtel, but the fans have lost out in this situation. At the last Olympics, the men's marathon started at midday in the hottest part of the day, simply to accommodate the needs of the media, because the media in the US at the time said they would have higher rating for their showing the marathon at that time. Inconvenienced the athletes greatly, but it was a real benefit for the media, particularly the TV companies showing the marathon.